Got my Adidas on today because we're talking about this guy right here, which is a PERST 3 laser illuminator. And I've got a fair amount of night vision related content kind of floating in the schedule, so I thought, hey, we'll do a quick video today while I've got a broken hand about this laser module. So if there's any questions in the future, we can just reference the video. So obviously, first and foremost, this is in a language that I do not know how to read. However, through trial and error, I have figured this out. The manual is also in a language that I do not read. This setting right here is the red laser. Next to it is off, IR laser, IR illuminator, and IR illuminator plus IR laser. Looking at the front, this section over here is where the laser comes from. This section over here is where the illuminator comes from. You can spin this ring right here and it will change the beam as you would kind of expect from a flashlight, if you will. These two knobs over here on the side are your windage adjustment and your elevation adjustment, windage and elevation respectively. And then over here on the left side of the module, we have the plus and minus buttons to change the illumination settings on both the illuminator and the laser. You can control those independently. There are two switches, one on the top and one on the rear that you can't really see because the optic's in the way, but it is right there. That's for making the laser and the illuminator do the laser or the illuminator things. And we'll get more in depth on the operation on that here in a second. It attaches to any Picatinny rail via one bolt that kind of goes through right here and has a clamp mount that goes underneath. You can mount this to the side. I prefer the lasers mounted to the top. Should never mount this to the bottom of your gun. It did come with a pressure switch. However, if you look at the pressure switch connection right here, it's a little janky for me, and I know me personally, I'm just going to break that sucker off. Most of the time, when it comes to these sort of things, my hands are big enough that it really isn't a big deal for me to come over the top or situate it a little bit farther out and be able to get at that thing there at the back. So it's really not that big of a deal. But what I have planned is I'm just going to go out and show you the operation under nod. Focus on our tree here. Okay, we're at the tree, and this should be just the red laser. So, red laser, there you have it. I can see that on my right eye. There's nothing over my right eye, but there you have it. Now, if I move it to off, nothing happens, obviously. But after that, the next setting should be IR laser. And what's interesting about this is if you press the thing, just tap it. So if I could do this, here, let me zero you guys out here. But just do this. You see it stays on. But if I press and hold, then it's momentary. So anyway, bringing you guys back up to where we should be here. All right, so there's that. I'm going to switch it to the next mode. That is illuminator only. And I guess switching through the settings there, I can move around these settings with the thing set to on, and it will switch. So back to laser, infrared illuminator, and laser. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to reach up here and we're going to spin this to see if we can play with this. And really we're not doing a whole lot. I got to be honest. We're not really doing. We can tighten it, but where it was is basically, oh yeah, look at that, it's getting tighter. That is the illuminator, boys and girls. So back where we were is as loose as that gets. We're going to take it all the way back out. I think it's like a laser beam, man. Okay. That's about as diffused as it gets. Okay. Now, if we go over to the laser, I'm going to do the buttons on the side here. And I'm having a hard time because my hand's broken.
that is down. You can see we can go down, and I think that's as low as it gets. Let's go back up. I gotta find the button here. There it is. And I think that's full power. So if I take that out, you can see all the way out there at way out. We've got laser capabilities. Let's see. There it is. So if we don't want to see that lightsaber effect there, you can see the stream a little bit and that leads out to the dot. We can just reduce the power a little bit. And we still have that nice laser out there, but we don't have that trail. Does this impact this? It does. So we can dial down the illuminator the same way. It does not look like we can do them independently. So if we go up here and let's set the laser all the way up, right? And see, can we turn the illuminator all the way down? Okay, what happens when we switch back over to the laser? Laser's at full power, looks like. Is the laser still at full power? Yeah, laser's still at full power. Still diffuse. Diffuse plus laser. So let's take it back to the laser. Oop. Back to the laser. Let's take the laser all the way down to nothing, right? And just to illustrate the point, let's turn the illuminator all the way up. And turn the laser on. You can barely see that laser. What happens if we push it now? Nothing. They're locked out. Can't do anything with either of them in both mode. So this should be just the illuminator. And if we go back to this, let's bring that laser all the way back up. Okay. Bingo. There it is.
So the question is, how does this thing compare to the other things that are out there on the market that compete in the same space? Well, this thing is about $1,100. Okay, street price maybe a little bit less if you buy them used, a little bit less than that, but you're going to be about $1,000 on this sort of thing. How does it compare directly? Well, the only other thing that I have directly compared it to is a full-powered PEC, and I have to say that this spanks the pants off of it. I just got to be honest. It beats it in every single way, both beam power and laser power. I don't know why the PEC is so expensive compared to the Soviet offering, other than the fact that this is probably made by a peasant child in some third world country somewhere. Now, the one downside that I will say about this thing is that the red laser for the zeroing of this unit is basically completely useless during the daytime. You basically have to be at twilight to be able to use this to zero. And by that time, you might as well just do it completely dark. You might as well just switch over to IR and do it that way. Because to be honest, it doesn't work very well. I tried to get some video for you guys of the red laser during the daytime. Literally can't do it. It does not show up. I can barely get it to show up in this room, and it's not even all that bright in here. But that said, quick dirty video. I haven't had any problems with it. As you can see, it has been used a fair amount. I am rather hard on things, and stuff that you're going to use under night vision is just going to get beat up. That's just the way it is. But so far, so good. I'm very impressed with the power output of the thing. I've had the same battery in it for a couple months now. Doesn't seem to be a problem as long as I leave it on the off setting. I've not tried to just set it at one of the other settings and leave it not on, but powered down or powered up but not on type thing. Again, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. I will report again in the future if that one CR123 does eventually burn out, but so far so good. And as far as accuracy is concerned, it's pretty spot on. It holds zero like a champ. Anyway, that is our quick video on the PERST 3. If you guys have more ideas in the future for different things under night vision, then please sound off in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to get to it. Thank you again for joining us here on the VSO Gun Channel, and hopefully we'll see you on a future video if we don't get banned.